third time Super Scholars on this Tuesday. So let's warm up our big awesome brains and get us started. I've added in all our R vowel flashcards. So here we go. O, I, U, O, A, R, and I, V, L, O, A, Ooh, what about this one? Woo, so this says whir. Can you say it with me? Whir. Good job. Keep it up. Y, I, E, A, or, and, last one. Ed, D, T. Good job, awesome people. Let's keep it going. Hello, second grade, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to grammar for today. For now and the rest of the week, we are going to be focusing on our super important grammar skills that help us when we spell and understand words when we read. But before we can get into grammar, we of course have some speed decoding to do. All of these words that are going to flash up have the sound for their R-controlled vowel. So keep that in mind. All of these vowels are going to say So let's take a look. What do you see? What's the vowel? O-R. But look, it's highlighted in red with W-O-R. So that makes O-R say So the word is worry. Worry. Remember, when O-R is teamed up with W, it says Okay, here we go. What's the R-controlled vowel? A-R. What do you notice about? Where is A-R? It's at the end of the word, and it's the second vowel. So A-R is going to say So the word is collar. Collar. Good job. What about this one? What's the vowel? E-A-R. E-A-R. That's the vowel all together. And E-A-R says So the word is learn. Learn. Good job. And what's the vowel? O-R. What do you notice? O-R says So the word is worst. Worst. Look, we have that team again. And last one. Whoops. Here we go. What's the vowel? E-A-R. And it says learning target. It says, I can add the suffix ER to a verb to turn it into a noun. So we again are working with suffixes today. This is something as grammar we've talked about a couple weeks ago, and we're learning a brand new suffix today. Do you remember what exactly is a suffix? What does that have to do with grammar? Why are they important? What does a suffix do? Do you remember? A suffix is a tiny little part of a word that when added to a base changes its meaning. So suffixes are just little parts of words that when you tack them onto an end of the word, it changes the meaning of that word. So let's look at one we already know, ing. We learned about ing with verbs. If we added ing, that meant the verb or the action was happening right now. It changed the meaning, the time of the verb. Or we also learned about ed. When we added ed to the end of a word, that meant that the action, the verb, happened in the past. It already took place. So when we added these suffixes, we changed the meaning of our word. We're going to do that again today with our suffix er. Er is a different kind of suffix because it's going to change a verb into a noun. We're still going to be talking about the same subject, but this verb or the action is now going to become a noun, a person or a thing. So when we add er to a verb, it changes it to a person or thing that does the action. So the action is still part of the noun, but now this noun, the person, is someone that does the action. Let's take a look at an example. First up, we've got teach. Teach is an action. It's a verb. It's something that someone does, to teach. If we add our er suffix to the end of teach, it's going to change that verb into a noun, and the word is now teacher. Teacher. A teacher is a person. It's a noun, and it's someone that does the action of teaching. So our verb became a noun with our suffix er, and now we have a word that shows someone who does the act of teaching. So this is what this tiny little two-letter suffix does when you add it to the end of a verb. And also when we learned about suffixes last time, we learned that there's 3 different rules for adding that suffix. We can't just add a suffix the same way to any kind of word. There's grammar rules that we need to make sure to follow if we want to correctly write English. So those 3 rules also apply with er, so we're going to review them now. But we can start with teach. Take a look. What's at the end of teach? What do you see? What kind of letters are CH? What kind of letters are CH? They're consonants. There's 2 consonants right next to each other at the end of this verb. When we have 2 consonants or 2 vowels at the end of a word, we can add the suffix on and not worry about it. That's all we have to do. If there's 2 consonants or 2 vowels, we just go ahead and add. So, to get this in our bodies, these are tricky rules. We're going to remind ourselves with mere words. So I want everyone's mere words hands ready, and we're just going to do it twice. Here we go. Mere words. When a base word ends in 2 consonants or 2 vowels, when a base word ends in two consonants or two vowels, you just add the ending. Mirrors down. So this is our first rule, and it's the simplest because we don't have to do a whole lot. But what about if we were writing about the word bake? Bake is an action to bake food, to bake cookies. This is a verb. If we add ER to the end of this verb, it becomes a noun, and we now have baker. That's someone's job. A baker is someone who does the act of baking. And what do you notice about the word bake? What do we have to do to add this suffix in order to change the meaning of our word? What do you see? Bake ends in E. We can't add a suffix to the ending of a word if it has E. So we have to drop that E. It has to be dropped before we can add a suffix. If you notice, there's not a double E. The E that we see comes from the E in our suffix. That's where it is. We already dropped the E before we added our suffix. That's our second rule. Okay, these are tricky, so we got to get them in our bodies so we can do it automatically on our own. Are you ready? Mirror words? Mirror words. When a base word ends in E, we drop the E to add the ending. When a base word ends in E, we drop the E to add the ending. Mirrors down. Good job. So we've got rule number 1 and rule number 2. What about rule number 3? Take a look at the word jog. That's a verb, to run lightly, to jog. If we want to take this verb, add the suffix ER in order to create a noun, the word becomes jogger. A jogger is a person, someone who jogs. In order to add our ER to our base word jog, what do we have to do? Think about it. Let's look at this ending of the word jog. What do you notice about these two final letters at the end of jog? We've got one vowel and one consonant. If we have one vowel and one consonant at the end of a word, what do we have to do to add our ending? We have to double that consonant. If we have one vowel with one consonant, we have to double that consonant before we can add our suffix. This is the trickiest rule. So I want us to make sure we pay extra close attention. One vowel and one consonant right at the end of the word means we have to write even more. Double that consonant. Okay, last one. Let's put it in our bodies because this one's definitely the trickiest. Are you ready? Mirror words. When a base word ends in one vowel and one consonant, we double the consonant to add the ending. When a base word ends in one vowel and one consonant, we double the consonant to add the ending. Mirrors down. Good job. So we have these 3 rules we are going to have to follow when we're adding a suffix to change a verb into a noun. So we are going to use our Super Kids workbook, of course, to help us practice. But before we get there, we have our this or that to move our bodies. And we're starting off our theme of Christmas, this or that. So come on, stand up for me so we can get you in a little holiday mood. So, our this or that for grammar on this Tuesday is, would you rather drink eggnog or would you rather drink hot chocolate? What would you choose? Eggnog, you're going to do 5 jumping jacks. Hot chocolate, you're going to do 5 high knees. Try to get your knees as high as you can. What is your choice? I'm going with hot chocolate, so I'm going to do 5 high knees. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is it. Nice and quick. So come on, sit right back down for me as you grab your Super Kids reader. And everyone opens to page 50. We are looking at page 50. We're going to work on our grammar. Okay, Super Scholars. So on page 50, we see a bunch of sentences that we need to complete. So on this page, we have these verbs in pink that we are going to have to change by adding our suffix ER. But we're going to have to be grammar detectives, and we're going to have to look really close at the ending of these verbs in order to figure out what of the 3 ways do we need to use to correctly add our suffix ER. So, if you have a marking pen or a highlighter, anything you want besides a pencil, go ahead and get it out. Let's look at, of course, number 1. It says, Annabetta can swim. What's our verb? To swim. Let's see. What do you see right at the end? Can you box or circle those 2 ending letters? What do you see? What kind of letters are these? Vowels, consonants? I see 1 vowel, I, and I see 1 consonant, N. If we see a verb with 1 consonant and 1 vowel, what does that tell us to do? What does that mean? We need to double the consonant before we can add the ending. So let's do that. So first let's write our base word over here. S-W-I-M. But we have to double our consonant. So I'm going to write another M. And then we can add the ending. E-R. Okay, what does this say? She is a swimmer. Swimmer. She is a swimmer. Good job. Okay, number 2, we're moving on down. It says, Sal can read. Sal can read. What's our verb? To read. Good job, to read. Let's take a look at read. What do you see? Can you underline the vowel? The entire vowel. What's the whole vowel? We have E-A. We have a vowel team here. This is 2 vowels right next to each other. So in a word, if we have 2 consonants or 2 vowels, what does that tell us to do? We need to just add the ending. It's the simplest one. So let's go ahead and do that. We have our base word, read, and because of the 2 vowels, we can just add our read this. He is a reader. Someone who reads. Okay, next up, number 3. Dun-da-da. It says, Cass can bike. What's our verb? Bike. Good job. Ooh, what do you notice about bike? What's at the end of bike? There's an E. So if a word ends in E, what do we have to do? We have to drop that E before we can add. We have to drop the E. So let's go ahead. We're going to drop the E to change it to a noun. So I have bike without the E, and then I'm going to add ER to it. So can you read this with me? She is a biker. Biker. Good job. Okay, we're going to do one last one together, number 4. Are you here? Alf can run. Alf can run. What's our verb? To run. Ooh, what do you notice about the word run? What is happening at the end of the word? What's happening there? We've got one vowel and one consonant. So one vowel and one consonant together. What does that mean? We have to double the consonant. So we have to double this N at the end of our word because we have 1 and 1. So here we go. Let's write it out. I'm going to write our base word run, double the N, and then add ER. So now we've written, he is a runner. Good job. So in these 4 examples, we used all 3 different kinds of rules we need to follow. So Super Scholars, it's now going to be your turn to complete page 50. We have 5 through 8. 5 through 8. I want you to complete page 50 by being awesome grammar detectives and looking for how does this word end, and that is going to tell you how you can correctly add our suffix ER today. So we've done 1 through 4 together. You're going to finish the page and do 5 through 8. When you completed 5 through 8, then I want you to take a video of yourself reading. You can either read the entire page or you can just read 5 through 8, making sure you're really decoding and practicing adding our ER at the end of our verb to make it a noun. So you're going to finish page 50, and then I want to see an awesome video of yourself reading 5 through 8 that you completed on your own. Pay really close attention to your grammar rules this time and really make sure you're accurate when you're spelling. Don't rush through it. You have all the clues you need right in your verbs. Okay, Super Scholars, keep out page 50, finish the page, and I can't wait to see the videos of you reading.